So Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League came out. I wanted to finish the game before I made a video on it because I think that there are some things that are promising about the game. I do think that it has a lot of potential. However, the first launch was even like when I saw like the early access when people were playing, I was like, yo, it's not a very good game. I hopped in it and then my opinion kind of changed. So there's gonna be three things I'm gonna be talking about in this video. Number one being the story, the gameplay, and then what I'd like to see in the future. I'll start off with the story. So there are kind of some plot holes in the game, in the base game at least. Like through the audio tapes and stuff, you're able to kind of piece things together. But the number one plot hole is how did they get brainwashed? Because this game doesn't actually tell you unless you go to the audio files and you listen to the audio files, and you have to unlock them first. So it's not even like you could just listen to them right off the bat. You have to unlock them. And you can kind of like see that this is all Superman's fault, right? I'm not gonna go too much into that, but basically, Brainiac comes down to Earth, wants to negotiate with the Justice League. Batman thinks it's a trap. Superman's like, you know what? We have to go in good faith. That's literally what he says. We have to go in good faith. And before you know it, they're all brainwashed. And there is a conspiracy theory that the Justice League that we kill is not the actual Justice League. It's clones of the Justice League, and Brainiac's holding the Justice League hostage. I hope so, because if we just killed the actual Justice League, a part of me is upset. But yeah, that's one plot hole, is how they got brainwashed. A second plot hole is the Deadshot characters. So, as you know, in Arkham City, Deadshot was white. In this game, he's black. And honestly, I prefer the Deadshot in this game because I feel like Will Smith was the best adaptation of Deadshot that I've seen. Okay, I'm not going to say in general because I don't know all the adaptations of Deadshot, but what I've seen, he's the best Deadshot, and this character is the closest to that. He's not exactly like him, but he's the closest to that. So I will say that I like this Deadshot. But again, you don't know that that's the real Deadshot until you go into the Batman experience, which is like that little museum for Batman, and you get Deadshot to react to the poster of the fake Deadshot, and he explains like that he's a phony and that he's the real guy.
Professional killer Deadshot was hired to assassinate several VIP targets, like myself, and Bruce Wayne and Batman. Close calls with death that night.
I'm not done with this phony steampunk-ass looking dude.
Again, another little plot hole that they could have covered in like 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute in the story, but they don't. The last thing about the story that I will say is I do like that it takes place in the Arkhamverse. And I know what you're thinking, well, this guy's like the first guy to say that. Yes, I like that it takes place in the Arkhamverse because, number one, I think that if the rumor is true that the Justice League is still out there, it makes for a really interesting story because now we look at it from a whole different perspective. Will the characters be playable if this is true? Hopefully. I don't think they will, but hopefully. Maybe we can fight alongside them. But even if those rumors are false, if that was the real Justice League that we killed, I think that from here, you can just end the series. Like, you don't have to make another game. You could just focus on the live series. You don't have to make another game because we got the end of Batman, we got the end of Superman, the end of Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, right? Like, we got all of it. So, like, we could just let this game sit there. And if you want to make another game, base it in the past and not the future. I feel like the timeline can end after this game. And by another game, I mean maybe like a solo game for Superman, a solo game for Flash, Green Lantern, like, or even a Justice League game, like straight up maybe just a Justice League game that takes place. It obviously have to take place after Arkham Knight, but it takes place between Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I can't. That title is so long, by the way. The second thing I want to discuss is gameplay. So it does feel good for a looter shooter, somebody that dabbled in a little bit of Destiny 1 and 2, although Destiny 2 sucks. Comparing it to that, because that's the only like looter shooter I've ever played, I feel like this one kind of beats that. And I know that like if you play Destiny, you're probably like, what the heck is this guy saying? Like, I played Destiny a handful of times. Don't come at me. But it feels better. From what I remember, it feels better and it feels more rewarding. The performance is questionable. I do have a 270 Super, and I have a Ryzen 7 3700X. The performance is questionable. I'm getting 60 FPS on like high settings, but if I want to go above that, I have to like put the settings down to medium, and even some of the effects I have to put to low. So I just like to see a little bit maybe more optimization. I heard that the game runs heavily on CPU, so maybe if CPU is something that I'm gonna have to upgrade, that's what I'm gonna have to do. But performance definitely needs to be taken care of. Another thing I do like is the weapon system is very unique for a superhero game. For a looter shooter, obviously that's like what makes it a looter shooter, right? Like you get loot after the missions. But for a superhero game, I actually really like it because it lets you customize the heroes, or I shouldn't even really say heroes because again, they're bad people that are doing good things. But I'm just gonna call them heroes for the sake of the video. And then the last thing that like gets a lot of recognition is the repetitiveness. I will comment, I haven't gotten that feeling yet. Yes, it's a lot of shooting. It's a lot of, taking down Brainiac's army, rescuing civilians, like collecting data. Okay, but I think it's fun, right? Like with friends, it's fun, and playing by yourself, it may feel repetitive. But when you got like two or three guys with you and you're just grinding it, I don't think it feels repetitive at all. So that is my take on the repetitiveness accusations. The last thing I'm going to talk about is what I'd like to see in the future for the game, because like I said, this game has lots of potential. I said that in the beginning and I'll stand by it. It has lots of potential. Character wise, I'm just going to get straight into it. I think that like Riddler, Killer Croc, Deathstroke, Catwoman, maybe Reverse Flash, again, I know those were mostly Batman related villains, but I think that they're good villains, and we haven't been able to play as Killer Croc or Riddler. We've gotten, or even Deathstroke, we've gotten Catwoman, right? But we haven't got any of those characters. Reverse Flash would be freaking cool, man. Like, if they can't bring back Flash because he's dead, if the real Flash died, Reverse Flash would be amazing. Like, imagine Reverse Flash from like a different like multiverse, right? And he comes over and they put a chip in him, and like, look, now you're in this multiverse, you're fighting with us. Like, that would be so fire in my opinion. Another thing I will say, character related, the character looks, the game just came out, so I'm not gonna say like, oh, add more stuff. You do get some styles unlocked, like when you do like Riddler challenges and stuff, but the shop has been the same since release. And I'm not saying they have to go full Fortnite here and have an item shop and have it reset daily, but I think a weekly shop reset would be nice. Again, the game just came out, so I don't know if they have some ideas cooking up right now, but it's looking like I'm not gonna purchase the comic book Deadshot outfit because I'm looking to get something cooler, right? Like, I don't want like the comic book version, like I want like something cooler. So again, they can just expand onto that, right? Like, I don't know if they're gonna just have all the items up for sale, you can buy what you want when you want, or if they're gonna do like a rotation. I think they should do a rotation. It also allows some cosmetics to be rarer than others, which down the line, if this game is going on for a while, like, it'll be appreciated by, the people who stuck around in the beginning. The last thing I'm going to talk about is fast travel. Fast travel needs to be a thing. I know you can travel to the Hall of Justice. I'm not talking about that. I think that every place you should be able to fast travel to, like every like area, like Suicide Slums, Midtown, like be able to just fast travel there, because it's so annoying when I'm at the top of the map and there's a new mission that's like not where the Hall of Justice is, but like, down the map, and like I can't just, fast travel there. I know the traversal's amazing, but eventually if I'm just trying to do missions, it gets kind of annoying. Spider-Man did it really nicely. Even Arkham, what was it? Arkham Origins did it too. It was better in my opinion. So let's get fast travel in the game. I'm not saying ASAP, but eventually, because I'm already getting tired of it. I can only imagine a couple months from now, I'm definitely not going to be happy about it. But for the video, man, that's it. I wanted to just put my opinion out there because I see a lot of different opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, drop a like, make sure to subscribe, because I think I'm going to be making more content on this game, because this game does look fun and, like I said, has a lot of potential.